G'day YouTube, Warbles on a lot here. I'd like to upload a clip about handedness in kangaroos and swamp wallabies. For those of you who know my channel, I have access to a whole lot of swamp wallabies and kangaroos. This is the third swamp wallaby I've fed today. I've also fed 6 grey kangaroos out of the 7 that are known to come and eat at my place. Now at the moment this fella's eating a potato. His name is Felix Fredson, and I fed his grandmother, possibly his great-grandmother as well. The story is, and I heard this on ABC radio 2 days ago, that a bunch of Russian biologists have come out to Australia in order to study swamp wallabies and kangaroos to see if they're left-handed, right-handed or ambidextrous. And their theory is that they're a mammal which spends its time upright and they're not a primate. And they think that spending your time upright may influence whether you're left-handed, right-handed or ambidextrous. So they're coming out to Australia to study this, and I thought, gee, I've got 450 YouTube movies and about 250 perhaps of them are about wildlife. And at least half the wildlife is about swamp wallabies and kangaroos. I've got innumerable hours of footage of swamp wallabies and kangaroos coming up and taking bread out of my hand or picking up bread that I've thrown to them. So if anybody wants raw data that hasn't been sieved, just back troll through my video scroll and have a look at every movie that's got kangaroos or swamp wallabies in the title and have a look to see which hand they pick the food up with first. Right? In the meantime, I actually have conducted some experiments with the 6 kangaroos and the 3 swamp wallabies, and I've written down the results for 2 days, and it appears that I've got 1 left-handed swamp wallaby. That's him, you were looking at him half a minute ago. I've got 1 left-handed grey kangaroo. I've got 1 grey kangaroo, the son of the left-handed one, and strangely they are the 2 grey kangaroos that eat out of my hand. There's the left-handed mother and the son. He will sometimes use his left hand only, he'll sometimes use his right hand only. And when I say use, the context I'm talking of is I put food into their mouth, like a priest giving communion, and they reach up with one hand or the other hand or both, or paws, one paw, the other paw or both paws. Quite often, one paw reaches up first, grabs a hold of the food morsel, and then within 3 seconds the other paw comes up as well. However, Felix Fredson over there, he did me the honour of answering a question directly when he came over after hearing me using the chainsaw. Because around here when they hear a chainsaw noise it means, hey, he's up and out of bed, he's actually doing something, go and stalk him and see if he'll give you some food. I said to him when he came up, will you tell me whether you're left-handed or right-handed or whether you're both? Now that time he's used both his hands to grab a hold of the biscuit. But when he arrived and I fed him his first biscuit of the day, I held it out expecting him to come and take it out of my hand. He stood about where he is now and stood up to full tripod and tilted his head right back up past the vertical a couple of times, which basically means throw it over here, throw it over here. So I threw it over there and he reached forward and he picked it up with his mouth as usual. He lifted his left hand up first, grabbed a hold of the biscuit, held it in his mouth, bit it. The biscuit broke in half, the half that fell to the ground. He then bent down and without a word of a lie, like if you think I'm lying, what's the point in watching this? 7 consecutive times he reached out with only his left hand and tried to pick the biscuit up. There we go, he's picked another one up. Listen mate, can you give us a demonstration? Now you're holding that in your right hand there. But yeah, the 7th time he tried to pick the biscuit up with only one hand, it was his left hand, and he did pick it up. He put the half a biscuit in his mouth and he ate it. And after he'd eaten the half a biscuit, or got his teeth into it, then he brought his other 4 paw up. So I'm pretty convinced that this fella is left hand preferent. He's pretty good with his right hand. They tend towards being ambidextrous, but there are some who have developed a preference. Now listen, Felix Fredson, can you pretty please come in and pick that biscuit up there and let the YouTuberosities figure out whether you're left-hand dominant or right-hand dominant. Fred. Come on. He's probably hanging out for another potato. He's going to get every crumb where he is before he comes any closer. Do you want that one? Look, see, there's a biscuit there. There's a biscuit there. Fred, there's a biscuit right there. Look, see? Bicky? Thank you, Fred. Yeah. His left hand beat his right hand by a small fraction of a second. Not what you'd call a great demonstration. So you're going to have to take my word for it about the reaching for the biscuit half on the ground 7 times in a row. Like I said, if you think I'd lie about such a thing, there's not much point watching any of my videos. There you go, left hand working it predominantly. Yes, you're a good boy, aren't you, Fred? Felix. Fred was your dad, wasn't he? Stay there and I'll get you a potato. Yes, you stay there and I'll get you a potato. That's been a good boy. Yeah, you want a potato? Do you want a potato? Oh yes, you want it, but you want it out there, don't you? And he picks up the potato, grabs for it with his left hand. Twice he grabbed for it with his left hand. Thank you, Fred. Fred's son. Thank you, thank you. Oh, you're a good boy. Yes, you are. Thank you for showing the tuberosities that you can use both hands, but you like using your left one first. Don't you? Hmm? You're a left-handed swamp wallaby. See how he's letting go of it as he's biting into it? Yes. Oh, I know a bunch of Russians who are going to get sent back to Siberia for this. Isn't that right? They don't need to come out here and study swamp wallabies and left and right-handedness. They just need to ask the people who live here. Isn't that right? They just need to ask the people who live here. Yes. Oh, you're a good boy, Felix. Yes, I keep confusing you with your father because you look so much alike. But he had that bullet wound through his hand where some arsehole shot at him and nearly killed him. Remarkable that a wallaby that's been shot at would remember that I'm not the one who did it. Yes. Yes, I hope these Russians are watching. Hey, Tovarich, comrade, are you looking at this? How many carloads of binoculars are they going to go through? Tents and camping gear trying to do this. Oh, I shouldn't laugh, should I, mate? It's not their fault. And it's the luck of the draw where you get born. You can't pick your grandparents, can you? Yeah, I'm going to keep filming you, dude, because you might do something else interesting, eh? Coming up to 10 minutes. That's probably enough. Okay, YouTube. Some wallabies and swamp wallabies and some kangaroos are left-handed. Ciao.